All right, good evening, everyone. I will make the obligatory joke that I'm standing between you and happy hour and dinner, so thank you for being here tonight. Really excited to be here with all of our partners. My name is Matt Firestone. I'm the GM of the Frontier Function team. I joined Microsoft about 9 weeks ago and actually was not expecting to be on stage today. So please give feedback. It's my first time on stage representing Microsoft. But I do have a long background in technology. I came to Microsoft specifically because I wanted to help companies reach the frontier, and specifically to help functional leaders reimagine their operations through AI and agents. I actually started my career at Google back in the days of the Android mobile platform. I was building very complex ecosystems of OEMs and ODMs and developers and telcos and retailers. So I have a lot of appreciation for the complexity of very, very large ecosystems. I also led marketing for TensorFlow. And actually was at Google when the All You Need Is Attention paper was written. So I felt like I had a front seat to this kind of emergence of AI and agents. And I actually could never imagine at the time how quickly it would compound on itself to get where we are today. Which is a transition to why we're here today, which is to celebrate the next wave of generative AI and agents, and to be at a place like Microsoft where we can actually transform the future of work by deploying this technology at scale through all of you, our partners. So to be very specific about that, our technology combined with your ideas, your expertise, I just want to express a tremendous amount of gratitude for everything that you do. We really genuinely appreciate everything you do and your commitment for walking partners through their AI journeys. Thank you very much. Please give yourselves a round of applause. So if you were at the keynote this morning, I just want to quickly summarize that it's just been an incredible year of AI momentum made possible through all of you. We have over 900 million monthly active users of AI features across Microsoft's product lineup. And if we zoom in specifically to our family of first-party copilots, we've surpassed 150 monthly active users across information work, coding, security, and much more. Momentum is also accelerating across our agent portfolio with the overall number of agent users doubling quarter over quarter. So let's look at how this momentum manifests in practice. With your help, 90% of Fortune 500 already use M365 Copilot to support their daily business operations. As an example, Vodafone is leading the Partner as Customer Zero charge with over 68,000 licensed users, saving 3 hours a week per person on average. And to illustrate how these time savings lead to functional transformation, Lumen equipped their sales team with Copilot, and they actually increased the total amount of outbound calls by 40%. Those are just two examples of the impact you've driven so far. So let's talk about what's next, the innovations we announced this morning that open up new opportunities for all of you. So I want to highlight quickly 4 categories that are especially relevant for you and the customers that you support. First, we've taken a major leap forward with Microsoft 365 Copilot. We've evolved it into an AI assistant for both individuals and teams. We have new capabilities like Work IQ, multimodal experiences, agent mode, Researcher with 𝗬𝗀, all designed to make Copilot smarter, more versatile, and more collaborative. Second, we introduced a new SKU designed for small and medium-sized businesses, Microsoft 365 Copilot for Business. It's available as an add-on or bundled with our Hero M365 Business Suites. It's going to be offered at a compelling price, and it's going to enable SMBs to equip every single user with a Copilot. Third, we've delivered major enhancements to help you build smarter, more powerful AI apps and agents for your customers. This includes innovations like United Maker Workspace and Power Apps, and the launch of agent evaluations in Copilot Studio, which will give you the tools to create, test, and refine AI experiences with confidence. Finally, we are introducing Agent 365, the control plane for all of your agents. Agent 365 extends the infrastructure you already use for managing people to agents, equipping agents with the same apps and protections tailored to their specific needs. It brings together Microsoft's leading security and productivity solutions, Defender, Entra, and Purview, to protect and govern agents. And this is where you, our partners, play a pivotal role, deploying AI and agents to thousands of customers, demonstrating measurable ROI, and transforming functional roles at enterprises at scale. And your impact is already clear, and the numbers prove it. So partners contributed over 70% of all M365 revenue growth in the past quarter. Usage is a close second, with partners influencing 50% of total MAU growth. And this is fueled by your efforts in driving Copilot Chat adoption with your customers. And it contributed $6 billion in pipeline opportunity in the last quarter. These numbers right here are very specific quantitative examples of what business and functional transformation looks like, thanks to all of you. So before we look ahead, this is my favorite moment of being on stage. I get to celebrate and announce the Partner of the Year. So I want to give a huge congratulations to 𝗬𝗏𝘂. Please give a round of applause. 𝗬𝗏𝘂 achieved fantastic double-digit growth across Western Europe, and they're also entering the Middle East market. For over a year, they pioneered agent development with major customers like ADNOC. And I'm really happy to announce that Aki Antman is actually here with us today. So please stand up and give another round of applause. So congratulations to all of our finalists, also KPMG, Corporate Project Solutions, and Kempana & Schott. So looking ahead to the future, the most important thing we can do together is to help our customers undergo frontier transformation. But the question I've been hearing since joining Microsoft is, how do we get started? How do we translate this vision into practical reality? More specifically, what is shovel-ready today for our customers? And we're entering into this new phase where the pace of AI innovation is exponential and is very different than prior technology waves. And as a result, partners look to you, our customers look to your partners with specific requests to help them redesign functional areas to foster human and agent collaboration. So I think for many of you, you're already familiar with what is a frontier firm. It's this idea of on-demand intelligence on tap, powered by hybrid and agent teams designed to scale rapidly and generate value faster. It's a very familiar concept a year into our journey with a frontier. And it's a compelling vision. And it's very obvious that it is getting some momentum in the market, and the data is bearing this out. So according to our first-party research, 64% of leaders are using AI every day. 82% of leaders expect agents to be integrated with their company AI strategy in the next 12 to 18 months. And by 2028, IDC expects that there will be 1.3 billion agents powering firms. So the problem statement becomes clear. There's all this enthusiasm, there's all these expectations, there's all this pressure to implement AI and agents today, but still lots of clarity that needs to be provided of where to start. So no company is frontier yet. And the definition of frontier is that you never reach it. The frontier keeps expanding, the yardstick keeps moving. But one thing that we announced today, and we published it on our Work Lab website, is that there's 3 lessons from companies that are pulling ahead in this space. And I want to give you a flavor of some of this narrative so you can take it back to your day-to-day and trial it out on your partners, on your customers. And please give us feedback if it's working, because this is a new journey. It's what my team is building. We really want to make sure that this is resonating in the work that you do. So the first learning is that functional leaders at frontier firms map every step of their work. They surface hidden bottlenecks and efficiencies. And they turn these invisible processes into visible processes with measurable units, targeted improvements, and unlocking new opportunities for AI-driven impact. This is what we call persona acceleration. And it specifically means empowering employees with tailored AI tools for their daily work. The second learning we've seen is treating AI as infrastructure, where you re-engineer processes with human agent teams. You embed AI into core processes that go beyond simple automation into fundamentally rethinking functional roles and redesigning workflows. And to be clear, we've actually seen the first learning and the second learning deployed in parallel. And depending on the functional area, certain ones will be better than other areas. And this is a little bit different than the last phase, which we've seen have more traction in engineering, which is about AI-first incubation. And this is about just bottoms-up, zero-based building with continuous experimentation. Everything is always in beta. You're always experimenting. You're always measuring. You're always refining. But the result is that you can get rapid cycles of AI-native building. And there's lots of examples of this, agents working in parallel, autonomous coding. It's not necessarily today applicable to other areas within a function, but it's a good experiment and a good vision of where things are heading. So what do these three learnings look like in practice? How do you get a little bit more tactical and a little bit out of this kind of vision into the actual practical day-to-day? So when you leave today, I want you to think about how you can apply these three learnings into your engagements with functional areas at the companies that you support. And I'll give you a little bit of flavor of what this looks like across sales, IT, and HR, and then I'll round it out with a little bit of product truth at the end. So let's start with the future of sales. Try to imagine Alice. She's a sales professional, and her current 9 to 5 is very linear. It's meeting with a buyer, it's building a proposal, it's co-creating a solution with a buyer, it's navigating stakeholder dynamics. Although the individual actions may change as the day goes on, it tends to remain a very linear journey. But in the future, and that future is actually much closer than many of you may imagine, there's an agent toolkit that she can work with and that she can deploy in parallel that listens and anticipates and moves work forward. And when you have an agent toolkit, it allows Alice to build trust with customers, focus on human negotiation, and actually deploy a unified system of action that replaces this maze of apps and planning, and instead moves into a world where there's intelligence on tap, there's one clear flow, and agents can be deployed in parallel, aligned to jobs to be done. And at scale, you start seeing fluid teams that align closer to customer needs, enabling you to focus on prompt creation and craft and orchestration and governance through agent registries and scorecards. And what this results is leaders like Alice spend less time chasing updates and co-creating solutions with partners. And the AI scales workflows without losing the personalization that makes Alice a sales leader. And you can imagine similar types of functional transformation. So IT, which is probably most familiar to everyone in the room, you can imagine the life of Simone, a future IT leader. The idea here is to take the 9 to 5 and shift from reactive support to proactive orchestration through agentic support teams. Simone is supported by a team of AI agents that's constantly monitoring, predicting, and resolving issues in parallel before they disrupt the flow of work. And the result is you have a unified tech and data platform that replaces all these fragmented systems. One more functional example is HR. So Mike is a future HR BP leader, and the 9 to 5, which is very process-driven and very reactive and very responsive to individual needs brought up by employees, gets transformed into this system where agents handle the routine and humans can shape strategy and experience. And instead of managing individual transactions, you're orchestrating journeys of an agent toolkit and solving problems in parallel at scale through an organization. So when you have all these agents and they're aligned to all these jobs to be done and they're deployed across all these different functions, how do you actually know what you can build and what you can buy? And to be really clear, I mentioned that I've worked on mobile, I've worked on cloud, and now AI. The build versus buy conversation, this is not a new conversation. We've been having this with ourselves and our customers for decades now. But in this era of AI and agents, it's the same type of framing, but just applied to a different tool, different toolkit. So let's start with Microsoft 365 Copilot to start. You know it as AI as an assistant, but there's actually already significant agentic value built into M365 Copilot. The flagship agents like Researcher and Analyst are pinned directly into the chat. And to get a head start on functional transformation, you can also help customers get started with a dozen different business process agents that are pre-built into D365 portfolio today. So if you're pivoting from buy to build, I'm sure many of you have already built AI agents yourselves and for your customers. Agent Store will be a key resource here to surface personalized agent recommendations for your customers. And whether the agent is built by yourself, Microsoft, or a trusted third party, there are many different solutions in Agent Store, and we expect this number to grow exponentially. And for your more entrepreneurial customers, you can always encourage them to explore various agent templates or build their own custom agents, all in Copilot Studio. So thank you again for listening today. Together, we want to help every customer achieve frontier transformation. I'd like you to leave today remembering that there are 3 learnings that all of these companies at the frontier are using to encourage functional transformation. Think about the mix of agent persona AI as infrastructure, and zero-based building as different solution plays you can use to encourage functional transformation. And then also think about this vast toolkit of agents that exist today in Copilot, that exist in our marketplace, our templates, Copilot Studio, as different tools that you have to deploy agents at scale. And I encourage you all to please use these resources, give us feedback. This is a new area for us, my team and I, and we're really excited to be on this journey with you today. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ginny, who will share what this means for your profitability. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, super excited about these new resources. I hope everyone goes out and takes a look at WorkLab right after this session, or maybe even while you're in this session, to learn about some of those new resources that are out today. Let's talk next about what this means for you. For partners, you're dealing with not only having to become frontier yourselves, you need to actually go and everything that your customers are going through, you need to be the leaders of that. They're looking to you to understand how have you implemented these AI and these agents in your business. And to be able to have those authentic use cases and stories, you need to be the leader in that. But at the same time, also the market around you is changing. The way customers are looking to work with you, the types of services they're looking for, the business models that they're looking for are changing too. So in addition to actually being a frontier firm yourself, you also need to be transforming your partner services practice as well. And so, gosh, it's a lot that's happening all at once here. And so in the next few minutes, I want to go through a few things where we're going to talk about what some of those trends are and what they mean for you, what that is actually doing in terms of the market itself, and then a new framework we have that we're launching today that we worked on with McKinsey to really help you think about what you do about that and some of the steps that you can take. And this is the first of some additional resources that we'll be bringing out over the next months as well. So let's take a look. So first and foremost, we know this, but of course, already the opportunity in terms of customers really putting significant budget behind this, AI and agents, is huge. And it's just going to continue to grow. This is still the early days. And so it's really critical to be a first mover in this space. The partners who are making moves now are the ones who are going to get that extra share of this market because they're going to have those use cases and examples that they can go and share. So in case you're holding back at all, which hopefully you're not if you're here today, now is the time to really start thinking about your investment strategy in terms of going all in on this space. And there's a few key things that are happening as well. Already, we're seeing that 90% of CXOs are expecting that repeatable productivity to come through to the cost that they're seeing from their services partners as well. So they're already coming to you and saying, hey, we expect that you're using AI and agents in how you're delivering to us. Shouldn't that lead to some productivity gains? Shouldn't you be able to do this a little bit cheaper? And that's only going to increase. And so the thing that I would highly recommend is get ahead of that compression. Start thinking about how you're going to prepare for that and start thinking about how you're going to start addressing your customers because that competition is getting really heated. And so the more you can start planning for that, the better. In addition, at the same time, a lot of customers are already starting to get really interested in different types of business models. I'm hearing from a lot of partners like you that you've already got customers coming to you and saying, hey, what about some type of outcome-based payment model? And that change in where that risk is being taken on across customers and partners is really shifting. And so again, highly recommend getting ahead of this, really thinking about how you prepare for and plan for having these type of business models in a way that's going to be profitable for you and be the right choice for your business. And finally, really the most important thing to be able to take advantage of all of this opportunity out there is bringing together your practice so that you can really provide a full end-to-end transformation around AI and agents for your customers. They are not looking to have silos in terms of how they address AI and agents. They want to see that your data and adoption and change management and your technical agent pieces, all of these are connected and they are telling one story. Your advisory needs to be all connected in. And so we know that that's not easy, and I feel like we've been saying that for years, that it's time to really bring all these practices together, but now is truly the time. Customers are expecting it, and it really is gonna start to become an expectation and still a differentiator as well. So let's talk about what this is doing in terms of the market. So as you can see, we do have an expected growth of the market, just a natural growth of the market, of somewhere around 25 to 30%. However, a lot of that is actually going to be offset by expectations from customers to be reducing some of the costs for those services, so those traditional services. So of course, that makes you feel a little bit nervous, but it's okay because there is opportunity there. But you have to make sure you've got the right offerings in the right places where those new offerings are going to be coming from. And they come from really two key places. So you can see the lighter blue there is that it's going to be expansion of existing services. And this is bringing AI and agents into your existing advisory practice, into your existing adoption and change management practice, and really bringing that to the type of practices you already have today. I'm sure all of you are already doing this and unlocking that. The next piece is expansion into new areas that you weren't able to actually access before because AI and agents is actually making that possible. There are new spend pools out there where they weren't actually available before. They were types of things that were completely in-house because it just wasn't possible. An example of this would be siloed, offline, unstructured data that really prevented the ability to transform. You could think in healthcare, for instance, that might be a situation. Whereas now we have large language models that can actually parse and convert scans of data and free text into structured data sets. This is something that really wasn't feasible before and certainly wasn't feasible at scale. And that is a whole new spend pool and opportunity there. And so, great, there's these opportunities. There's places that you want to go and invest in terms of those service offerings, but how exactly do you do that? How do you make this transformation? And so what we have today, and that we'll be sharing an AKA link just on the next slide, is a framework. And this is a framework on 7 key areas where there is opportunity to transform. And as you look at each of these areas, they will be interconnected in terms of how you think through this transformation. And today we've got a framework that we're sharing out, but we are going to have a playbook and additional resources where we'll continue to compound on this as well. So let's take a quick look at these. What are the areas where you need to be transforming? Obviously, services offerings. We were just talking about that, right? Thinking about where are those places you can expand on your existing services and where there's those new amazing opportunities to do multi-agent orchestration that is a whole new world that wasn't really there before. IP development is going to be a critical area. And the really important thing about IP development is going to be a really targeted investment strategy. Thinking about how you're building things that are truly unique and differentiated so that you can make the most out of those investments in IP. And I think we're going to see a lot of SI partners starting to look at how you're building things that maybe look more like what an SDC partner would have built in past, and maybe even looking to use Marketplace as a way to actually sell some of those type of agents as well. So some really changing potential business models and opportunity there. Of course, critical to have an integrated GTM. We talked about economic model before. Again, a lot of customers are already looking for those outcome-based business models. How do you think about the right business model that's right for you? There's a lot of ones that can be hybrid, so you don't have to go all the way in on an outcome-based model, but you can start to move in that direction and start to get a little bit more comfortable with that concept as well. And then, of course, delivery. Delivery is going to be all about bringing techno-business roles and individuals together so that we can really bring all of that AI transformation value and understanding to our customers. But it's also going to be about thinking about delivering with an operating model that brings the best of people as well as agents and AI through to how you're actually delivering. So a big transformation there as well. And of course, all of that needing to really bring those practices together so there feels like a seamless AI transformation. I'm going to leave it there for today, but we do have more resources on this that are coming out now and more to come soon. So we've got the framework that is going to be available now. You can go to that AK link. Apologies, it's tiny. But you'll have the access to the slides. So we've got that framework that's available now. We'll have a full playbook that will be coming out within a few weeks. We also have an assessment that you can take to get a sense of where you are at on this journey. And we're going to be bringing workshops out so that you can actually work through this to really understand where you are and build your business case and transformation plan as well. But with that, I'm excited to hand it over to Ananth, who's going to come up and bring up a partner panel.
For more than 175 years, Swiss Post has been a trusted part of everyday life in Switzerland, connecting people, businesses, and communities. Today, that legacy is guiding our next chapter of transformation, where innovation is central to how we work and serve our communities. Part of how we are accelerating that change is through our Post of Tomorrow strategy, where digital transformation and AI in particular play a big role.
Together with Microsoft, we worked with Swiss Post to co-develop an everyday AI strategy built around inclusion, governance, and continuous learning. Our starting point was Copilot Chat. It offered the simplest, most intuitive entry into generative AI with its familiar chat-based interface. Then, building off of the success of Copilot Chat, we focused on enabling the adoption of M365 Copilot across Swiss Post's office workforce, supported by an adaptable and scalable change management framework and the Agent Factory.
So far, we achieved incredible engagement with more than 3,000 employees actively using Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses. We have successfully delivered more than 40 AI enablement sessions to hundreds of employees through our recent launched Copy Academy. And we've now reached a stage in our everyday AI maturity where we're actively deploying and scaling AI agents. Microsoft has been instrumental in helping us identifying high impact use cases and learn how to use Copilot Studio to prototype new solutions through hands-on workshops. On the other hand, Campana and Jot has also partnered with us in the rollout of our proprietary Agent Factory, which is a framework that helps us design, test, and manage agents across the organization.
Watching Swiss Post transformation has shown us what's possible when people, technology, and purpose align. I'm excited to see how Swiss Post continues to build on this foundation and where the journey with AI takes them next.
At KPMG, we're not just talking about AI, we're making it real. Through our partnership with Microsoft, we've created Kim Compliance. It's a Gen AI tool that simplifies regulation complexity and helps leaders get to insights fast.
We teamed up with KPMG to bring Kim Compliance from proof of concept to production. Critical was stakeholder management, all executives in the tent from day one. KPMG's innovative mindset helped us meet challenges and push the project forward.
For Telstra, the compliance landscape is rapidly evolving. Kim Compliance helps us keep pace and empowers our team with unique insights. What used to take months can now be delivered in days, freeing up Telstra people to deliver exceptional customer experiences. Everyone can see the potential for AI to help with compliance, but KPMG have a solution that is real and it's ready to go. Kim Compliance helps us build trust, which is fundamental to our purpose as a company.
All right. Welcome. My name is Ananth. I am the partner strategy lead at EPS. Pretty excited to be here. And we have two partners, KPMG and Campana & Schott. By the way, both of them are finalists this year for the Copilot and Agent Partner of the Year awards. Thank you and congratulations. Thank you. So Dr. Sven has been in business for over 2 decades and been consulting with the large banks and financial institutions and has been leading their transformation story. And Pascal here is our MVP, and he has been leading the modern work business for Campana & Schott and also the agent extensibility story here. So I'm super excited to have them both here, and let's have a conversation. And I want to start with Dr. Sven. We talked about agent transformation. We talked about frontier transformation. The key to that is making sure we are talking to our business decision makers. And we have been challenged on that front many a time. So just talk to us on how are you leading that charge, especially with KPMG?
That's a great question. And as we heard before, it's all about where can I start and how do I start? It's less about the question, is AI transforming my industry? I think we overcome that. It is more, do we have blueprints? Do we have something to scale large? And how do I probably also differentiate among my peers? So what we created at KPMG is what we call KPMG AI Workforce. So we took the data of thousands of companies, deconstructed the individual functions and processes, divisions down to the individual task level so we can assess what the individual task could be automated with. This is a highly area with a lot of momentum because as we've seen today, there are a lot of announcements, so we have to constantly reassess the individual tasks. But what helps us here is bringing this back up and discussing with the business leaders how this can empower them in their individual process.
Right, and Pascal, Campana & Schott has been traditionally a services company, and
you're
leading the charge now. So how does the transformation with BDMs work?
I think one of the most important part is really with business decision makers is to also talk about how can AI enable them to achieve their goals on the business side faster. So quite often we then dive into technology discussion, but I think that's not the point with business decision maker, rather than to have a clear what's the overall strategy, as we have heard from Post of Tomorrow, for example, with their strategy, and then consult then how can they achieve through AI faster their goals on the strategy level. That's
great. Just moving on, in terms of agentic solutions and offer, you guys have been with us from day one in this journey, and thank you for doing that. Let's start with Pascal. How are your solutions and practice offerings evolving with the changing product landscape and changing customer demands? Talk to us about how you're positioning to your customers about these solutions.
I think if we have a look at today's keynote, I think it's clear that agents are one of the core elements to become a frontier firm. And that's exactly what we do with our customers. So we really start this agent conversation from the very first pre-sales appointment, where we showcase them how to use agent to achieve or to become frontier firm, and then use the discovery workshops to really have this business use cases. Of course, of the one hand side, we have some overall scenarios from HR, corporate communication, and so on that we can map to kind of every single customer, but then really to drive the discussion with the individual departments to have a look, how can we map personas, processes, and AI to support them.
Right. And how are you doing in KPMG with that?
So we at KPMG have the challenge that we have like our audit, tax, and advisory firms. And what we recognized quite early is that our investment needs to underpin all three of those. So there we cannot discretely invest to really make this a common AI platform. And that's what we did. We created a AI workbench. So this is open to access to all of our functions, including developer tools, access to individual models, agent orchestration, and as well a agent repository where individual functions can pull from. And in turn, and I think that's what we just heard, is it's not only for us in our own transformation. What we just heard from Telstra was fully powered with our AI workbench. So 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 AI and the compliance solution is something that our clients have access to. So this really brings together our own transformation on the one hand, and on the other, our clients who are able to access this technology.
Fantastic. Just moving on, customers have choices. And obviously, with choices comes questions. And you are at the front end of answering those questions. Now, from a Microsoft point of view, our stack is varied and quite deep. What concerns are you hearing from customers, and how are you taking those, and how do you address those concerns around AI, Microsoft AI value?
I think you perfectly framed it. It's a very, very big ecosystem. So what do I pick? How do I stitch it together? So we basically guidelined by our CEO survey, where, of course, everyone's top of mind is AI and how do I invest in AI, but as well, where do I invest it, and what's the right sequence of the investment? So just referring back to how we transform our audit service, we went on with our audit service transforming into like the next gen Clara, what we call Clara AI. So audit is a really precise function. So we need to be to the point. It is very much all around trust and reliability. So we present towards our clients how we connect and stitch together the individual components from Microsoft to get that clarity, that trust, that reliability, so we can evolve our audit to the next stage.
Right. And as Microsoft, we have people from product marketing and engineering here. What can we do to help you?
Open and honest. I think it's pretty simple, and we've been hearing this all over the conference. The accelerated momentum that AI brings into the marketplace leaves people sometimes confused. So if you would ask in this auditorium, probably hands will go up. Sometimes we're confused what to stitch, what will come next in the roadmap. So our clients want to be confident in where they invest. So if there is something we could ask, let's be proactive with our joint clients. So it's not only an ask to you, it's where we can help each other. And that's what we see during the keynote this morning. We need to guide them through the day in the life. How can they apply AI? So it's more of a joint movement and be together on that journey.
Absolutely. So day in life, Gloria? So last question is around frontier transformation. You both of you have been in that journey. Talk to us about how are you business model transforming? Let's start with Pascal, because you have services now, managed services. How do you see that evolving in your business model?
Sure. I think the first step is really to become a frontier firm at ourselves. So that's why we enabled all our employees with M365 Copilot and also start with agents in our own services. So for example, our core, or one of the core elements in the beginning of Companionshot was project management. So of course, a lot of risk assessments and stuff like that. So we built our own agent that creates first project plans or also do a first risk assessment to support also our services. And as we heard from Ginny, also to rethink how are the business model in the futures. It's not a time and material based, but rather than a result-based outcome management. And I think this is really starting by ourselves to consult our customers to become frontier, and with that also evolve our business models.
Great.
I think I can just underscore what you just said with a bit of more example from KPMG, as we are transforming our advisory business as well, underpinned by our workbench, so into what we call KPMG Velocity. So it basically brings back the whole expertise from our individual member firms with methods and data together with AI to be able to deliver our services in a completely different way as we did. And I think we heard it already. Our clients are expecting that our consultants are augmented by AI. And that's what we try with KPMG Velocity. And yes, we also see that there is more tendency into value-based pricing. We see that there is more like the product orientation that clients expect from us, and also a tendency to go into managed services. So I think Agent 365 that we just saw, there's a huge potential with managed services that we can wrap around and bring it to the next level.
Perfect. With that, thank you, gentlemen, for being
Thanks
here.
for having us.
Really appreciate you. And once again, congratulations for being one of the finalists for this year's Copilot Partner of the Year Awards. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, I'm between you and the drinks, so I got 5 minutes. Let me talk to you about all the investments and resources that we have for partners. Now, one of the big investments that we have put in this year is around partner skilling. When we talk about partner skilling, we really want you to go about unlocking the benefits that you have with Copilot in agent and practices that you are building. We want to make sure there is continuous skilling at every stage of the journey. Whether you are starting a practice where you are looking for credentials, you have credential ready. Whether you are looking to train your sales force to make sure that they have the first conversations with business decision makers, uncovering those business scenarios, we have courses specifically tailored for them, including courses for pre-sales resources, where we talk about how do you deploy a proof of concept and show value. And then, of course, we have the deep technical learning that is project ready, which is all about making sure your deployment resources, your technical support resources are fully trained and ongoing with this. One thing that we did change this year based on feedback is to make sure we meet your resources where they are. If they are just getting onto the bandwagon, we have level 100 resources. If they are already trained, then you can just skill up with the latest advancement and updates that you have. Now, customer journey, which is one of our main focus, is to make sure that you have the right resources, guidance, and investment at every stage of the journey. Whether you're starting to engage with a customer who is new to Copilot or new to AI, or working with a customer who's already using it and now has to go back for a new scenario. Now, every stage of this MSIM process, as we call it, Microsoft Customer Engagement Model, we make sure we give you the resources. Now, I want to call out 2 key things that are important for us, and it would be definitely important for you. The first one is customer insights. Now, at the top of the funnel, when you are looking to talk to your customer, you definitely want to know where your customer is, what kind of challenges they have, what are they using, and more importantly, what is the next logical step. We do have these reports now available in Partner Center as part of AI Business Solutions and Security reports. Now, these reports provide data which is targeted at customer tenant, AI recommendations, and that is going to help your sales and your customer support success teams to make sure that they are engaging with the customer and delivering the next logical step. The same dashboard also now provides insights. How many of you are Jumpstart partners here? Great, and first of all, thank you all for being part of Jumpstart. We really appreciate it. Now, as part of it, you also have investments and you are looking at your own performance. These dashboards provide that dashboard view as well. So you exactly know which tenant we have engaged, where they are, and what can you do to activate and meet those success metrics. The second big investment is our Copilot and Power Accelerate engagements. Now, these are curated based on best practices that we have seen with customer engagements, delivering value, delivering success, delivering results. Now, when we talk about these 2 engagements, there are 2 engagements primarily that I want to call out. There is the envisioning and proof of concept engagement, which is really a pre-sales model. This is targeted customers where you have identified business case scenarios, you want to deliver that immersion experience, you want to deliver that initial value to the customer so that you can go back and land the larger services opportunity. The second engagement is a deployment accelerator. This is really sweetening the deal for you to make sure you deploy this right with the guidance, with the investment, so that the customer can get this deployed and then move on to the next project. One big change with these engagements this year is we brought in M365 Copilot, chat, agents, along with Power Platform into one consolidated investment. But it is also, again, modularized so that you can choose what is the model that you want or what is the goal that you want to hit with the customer and deliver to that. Now, this is something that I'm personally excited about, Copilot specialization. This differentiates you in the marketplace as our hero partners. We have had about more than 100 partners attaining Copilot specialization this year. Any of you are in the audience here? Right, congratulations, thank you. So, fantastic. This is a fantastic recognition of the results that you have delivered. We do hope we get all our partners to attain this Copilot specialization. It's pretty simple, straightforward. You definitely need to have performance capabilities with practices delivering to the results. And of course, you can go look at 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗶𝗶 program site for more details on this. Now, we announced the Frontier Partners designation. Copilot specialization is part of those of that designation. So if you are earning Copilot specialization today as part of ABS, you would get that badge. All right, so I'm almost out of time, but just to wrap it up, when you are wanting to build your practice, make sure you are looking at your team skilling. Partner Skilling Hub and Partner Skilling Hub News is one resource for you to ensure your teams are trained on the latest content that we have. aka.ms Copilot Partner is our practice page. This is where we publish all our resources for you to build out your practice and where you can seek help as well. We do have go-to-market resources in terms of packaged content in a box, customer propensity targeting, all of that to be making sure that you are successful in the market. With that, I would say thank you all for attending this session. We do hope it was useful for you. And if you are a Jumpstart partner, we are super excited to be having you here. If you're not, do sign up. And we would love to have you as part of our next year's Copilot winner partners. Thank you.